Hello everyone, we are here to discuss about the game Sungka. First is the name and origin of Sungka. Sungka was first described by the Jesuit priest Father Jose Sanchez in his Dictionary of the Bisaya language in 1692 as Kungit. Father Jose Sanchez, who had arrived on the Philippines in 1643, wrote that the game was played with seashells on a wooden boat-like board. Sungka is similar to many other Southern Asian Mancala games such as Naranj in Maldives, Dakon in Java, Kongkak in Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, and Sungka in Marianas. It was in 1937 when Gabriel A. Bernardo decided to document complete matches between two players. Following his documentation, the bibliographer laid down the rules of Sungka that we know today. Bernardo said that the configuration of the boards is two rows of seven holes on the both sides. Those holes are of equal size. He further said that a bigger hole called a store is engraved at each end of the rows. They learned from the AMNH or the American Museum of Natural History that the boards were found in two places in the Philippines. Three boards were collected in 1905 by Morris K. Gisop, a former president of AMNH. He claimed the items were from Leyte, Eastern Visayas. The fourth board was collected in 1954 by Howard Conklin, an anthropologist. He believed the game was played in Bicol and in Tagalog region.
Greetings to everyone. Today, I'm going to be presenting the objective, number of players, and the materials needed in Sungka. First is the main goal of Sungka, which is to acquire the most number of game pieces from the 49 required. Not necessarily all, but at least to obtain a larger number of game pieces in the player's head than the other player. In Sungka, a person will need another in order to play and enjoy the game. Sungka requires two players. Each player controls the seven holes on his side of the board and owns the head to his right. Playing this game, however, will require only a Sungka board, a board with seven small pits side by side and two large pits on each ends, and 49 game pieces that could probably be stone or pebbles, marbles, seeds, and even shells. These game pieces will be the key in order to achieve their higher number goal.
Rules and values of Sungka. The player empties one of their small pits and distributes the contents one by one in a clockwise direction. The contents are placed into the following pits, including their own store, but passing the opponent's store. The game is also played counterclockwise, with each player owning the store to their right, according to the National Historical Institute of the Philippines. If the last stone falls into a non-empty small pit, its contents are lifted and distributed in another lap. If the last stone is dropped into the player's own store, the player gets a bonus move. If the last stone is dropped into an empty pit, the move ends. If the move ends by dropping the last stone into one of their own small pits, they capture the stones in the opponent's pit directly across the board and their own pit. The captured stones are deposited in their own store. However, if the opponent's pit is empty, nothing is captured. During the game, the first move is played simultaneously. After that, players take turns alternately. The first player to finish the first move may start the second move. In face-to-face play, one player might start shortly after their opponent, so their chosen response could give an advantage. There are no rules preventing the tactic, so the decision-making may or may not be simultaneous. The player must move if they can. If they can't, the player must pass until they can move again. The game ends when no stones are left in the small pits. The player who captures most stones wins the game. The game is often played in rounds. Pits which couldn't be filled with captures are closed, while the leftover seeds are put in their store. This continues until a player is unable to fill even one hole. Variant rules of Sungka. Chopstick Sungka. In the variant Chopstick Sungka, the counters are not moved by hand but with chopsticks. That is all. Thank you.